Yo, what it is, YouTube? It's Playback Studios coming back with another bullseye of a video here today on the channel. We are going to show you guys how to get a pro sounding R&B master in under 10 minutes. So if y'all like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what's your favorite R&B song, okay? And don't forget to check out the Playback Studios website where you can book a mix or you can book some studio time. Okay, so let's get to it right now. Let's get to listening to this track getting sauced up.
No games, I know it is ghost. Yeah, it's sauce. What it do, baby? Don't act like you don't want this, baby. Don't act like you ain't feeling crazy, yeah. But you
So we have an idea of what we're working with here today. So most importantly with the mastering chain is that we already know what we kind of wanted already out of it. We know what flavor of ice cream we want before we even hit to the cash register. We already know what we want to buy before we walk into the store. This is an R&B song, so I understand it needs to be warmer and it needs to be a little bit thicker. So I use the Fairchild, knowing that it has transformers and tubes in it, and that's gonna give it some density.
no games, I know it is ghost. Yeah, it's sauce. What it do, baby? Don't act like you don't want this, baby. Don't act like you ain't feeling crazy, yeah. But your heart's what I need, baby. I got what you need and you know that. Ain't no rush, baby, don't hold back. Body talking, I decode that.
So I just love how this plugin also brings some brightness to the mix too without actually using any EQ. So it makes everything feel thicker and robust. And I did the same exact trick with the Pultec too, just the UAD one. Ran through it, understanding that the tube topology will bring the density.
No games, I know it is ghost. Yeah, it's sauce. What it do, baby? Don't act like you don't want this, baby. Don't act like you ain't feeling crazy, yeah. But your heart's what I need, baby. I got what you need and you know that. Ain't no rush, baby, don't hold back. Body talking, I decode that. I'm just what you don't wanna.
Okay, so that's what that's also doing. Then I use the T-Rax saturator plugin. I use some master tape, understanding like how I said, hey, I want some of that girth, and I know that tape will give a bump. A lot of the other tape plugins, they kind of have a way of actually like rounding off the top end, but something about this tape right here, it kind of feels a little bit better. And I love the two headroom modes. Like if you want to have more or less headroom, you can swap between those. So yeah, that's what I went with this T-Rax saturator. And you see so far, all I'm using is saturators. You feel me? All I'm using is ketchup, a little bit of honey garlic, a little bit of horseradish on the hot dog. You feel me? I haven't even begun to fucking bite into the bun with other shit. Just knowing my saturators and knowing the sound that I'm looking for has provided me with a friendly way of adding to my mix without doing EQ. And sometimes when you do EQ, you will boost out some of the bad frequencies. Even saturation will maybe pop out some of the bad frequencies, but I like to use saturation. It's a little bit more foolproof.
No games, I know it is ghost. Yeah, it's sauce. What it do, baby? Don't act like you don't want this, baby. Don't act like you ain't feeling crazy, yeah. But your heart's what I need, baby. I got what you need and you know that. Ain't no rush, baby, don't hold back. Body talking, I decode that. I'm just what you don't
I
want.
like this plugin because it has the link mode and you can even get up to higher levels of drive and distortion. But this is the master bus. We just want soft saturation. Then I use the imager to get it a little bit wider. Then I use the maximizer just for the upwards compressor. And I like the upwards compressor because it's like Waves MV2. It takes low level detail and brings it up. And it starts to make it a little bit more where you can see in between the lines, the finer details at the art gallery when you're looking at a picture and you just see that tree that's painted in the bottom left corner, but then it's painted with a slight sway. You know what I mean? Those finer details is what I'm trying to bring out of the mix to make it a masterpiece, pretty much.
No games, I know it is ghost. Yeah, it's sauce. What it do, baby? Don't act like you don't want this, baby. Don't act like you ain't feeling crazy, yeah. But your heart's what I need, baby. I got what you need and you know that. Ain't no rush, baby, don't hold back. Body talking, I decode that. I'm just what you don't wanna.
So for me, it starts to bring out more detail out of those low notes inside the piano, and it gives it more presence. Then I use the master plan right here. This is a really dope plugin, but I often find myself using it in different ways. I never truly just use everything all at once. and the module I use is the calm module. So pretty much it's just a soothe module to reduce some harshness, because that vocal has a lot of auto tune on it. That's how the artist wanted it, and he's kind of got like that squeaky auto tune voice. He does know how to sing though, and a little bit of this. It sounds like a high frequency limiter, but just this it really is a great way of deharshing the mix, and it also feels like it's touching a little bit of the hi hats too. You know.
No games, I know what it goes. Yeah, it's slows. What it do, baby? Don't act like you don't want this, baby. Don't act like you ain't feeling crazy, yeah. But your heart's what I need, baby. I got what you need, and you know that. Ain't no rush, baby, don't hold back. Body talking, I decode that. I'm just with you, the one I choose. Every move you make got me in a mood. Got your attention, and I don't wanna lose. If I play my cards right, yeah.
So it kind of enables his vocal to still be up front and have everything kind of feel up front, honestly, without becoming overly whelming, abrasive, especially in the upper mid. And then we have this L2 right here.
No games, I know what it goes. Yeah, it's slows. What it do, baby? Don't act like you don't want this, baby. Don't act like you ain't feeling crazy, yeah. But your heart's what I need, baby. I got what you need, and you know that.
Now, a lot of times when it comes to limiters, I usually pick every limiter, right? And I just try it out. I just leave it on like I don't even put on the threshold or nothing like that. And I allow that as an opportunity to hear like, okay, what is the mix gonna sound like? Not when it's necessarily mastered, but the distortion that it's gonna bring to. Because every limiter is attempting to be transparent, but for the most part, there is an inherent amount of distortion. And a lot of times, some limiters will start adding things such as dithering, and with dithering, that's like an extra level of noise that helps reduce like the digital imperfections. So the limiters are very important. Something like L2 limiter, I find myself using that right here because this was almost going for a vintage style 2000s mix. And I know in the year the 2000s, some people were using L2 and stuff like that. So that's why I kind of use that. But there's other great limiters such as the Ozone vintage limiter, right? So always thinking about the mentality of your limiter and when it is, because it is definitely going to distort, like what type of distortion is going to bring it to. Unless you only going to hit like 1 dB, you are definitely going to get some distortion on your limiter. So this is like another style of limiter that I like to use a lot, um, because it also brings in like a tone. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just level match like the ceiling with the threshold, and then just hear what the actual distortion is bringing.
No games, I know what it goes. Yeah, it's slows. What it do, baby? Don't act like you don't want this, baby. Don't act like you ain't feeling crazy, yeah. But your heart's what I need, baby. I got what you need, and you know that. Ain't no rush, baby, don't hold back. Body talking, I decode that.
So that's like usually the process that I have personally for selecting limiters. I level match the threshold with the ceiling, and then I hit it like a couple dBs, 2 to 3, just to hear how it will distort. You feel me? And if it is the appropriate socks for the outfit, the appropriate shirt for the rest of the fit, so that it can tonally kind of match what I'm going for here on this mix. Then I use like some stuff for the saturation. It was hardly anything because I had been saturating so much. I used a little bit of tape in the mid range just to give it a little bit of a smoothing style characteristic, and a little bit of the analog right here. And with this mix, I kind of already had gotten it to -9. Okay, so let's see how much the LUFS is. But usually nobody's gonna bump R&B music super loud.
No games, I know what it goes. Yeah, it's slows. What it do, baby? Don't act like you don't want this, baby. Don't act like you ain't feeling crazy, yeah. But your heart's what I need, baby. I got what you need, and you know that. Ain't no rush, baby, don't hold back.
Which is crazy. I somehow got this mix to negative what 8 with only like a dB or 2 of limiting, and maybe that's coming from like all the saturators and stuff like that too. Also this maximizer. Let's see how much that's doing.
No games, I know where this goes. Yeah, it's O's. What it do, baby? Don't act like you don't want
Yeah,
this.
so if your mix is actually kind of like, mixed properly and there's space for all the frequencies, it will allow you to limit, because there's no overages of low end. Like if I had a super amount of low end, the limiter would have started catching that, but on this mix, I actually used the Rhodes piano to give a little bit more low end. So that low end is a little bit more lower mid focused type of situation. So that's how you see I'm able to get it to -8 in what only 1 dB of limiting. Okay, you ain't have to crush it the whole way. But sometimes to get the mix louder, you might start doing more dBs limiting, and that's where you want to keep your ear keen to that distortion that is going to bring to the rest of the mix. So I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of the YouTube family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Playback website. You want to book us for a mix? You want to check out our studio? We'd really appreciate that. And let us know what's your favorite R&B song down below. Appreciate y'all now, YouTube gang. Peace.